Okay.
All right. All right, I call the June 19th, 2019 Algonquin monthly board meeting to order, and welcome everybody. And first item of business will be, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item will be the roll call, please.
Chapman?
Yes, here.
Lawrence?
Yes.
Shay?
Here. All right, now we're moving up to approving a bushel basket of minutes. We could approve them all in one stroke, or if you have something to comment on them.
I have something to comment on.
All right.
There's a couple of eyes missing, and so.
All right, well, we can take them individually.
No, they're missing on all of them. There's just a couple of eyes in minutes, and then a couple of eyes, there's eyes in Illinois. There's also an addendum, that I'll be putting with, that tells that the, general assistance, went up.
Yes.
So that'll be attached to the minutes from our last regular meeting.
It's in there, it's written.
It's written in the
Yeah.
addendum, but I didn't attach it to the minutes.
So it'll be an official copy.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything you wanted in there?
No, I don't, no, sir.
This motion will be for the budget hearing on May 15th, and also the budget meeting. Well, the first one was for the town fund, the second one, road and bridge, May 15, 2019. The monthly meeting of May 15, 2019. Special meeting of May 31st, 2019. Special meeting of June 7th, 2019. Special meeting of June 12th, 2019. Do I have a motion?
I move the adoption of all of those minutes previously stated.
I'll second it. All right, now, does that take care of, with the mention from the clerk? Do you have anything else you want to put on there?
Not unless Dave wants to retract his motion and re-motion that you approve them as amended by the clerk.
I move the adoption of the aforesaid minutes for those meetings, and also with the addition of the clerk's addendum and correction of spelling.
I second it. All right, anything further? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. The motion to approve the minutes with the clerk's adjustments for the 6 days I quoted earlier has passed by unanimous voice vote. All right, the new business next is audit of the bills. I gotta go through the room. All right, here we are. Bear with me, folks, don't leave. That's minutes, I don't want that. All right. The first one will be the expenditure report for the town fund for the monthly expenditure of $93,247.17. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it. All right, it's open for discussion.
I like to remove actually.
From this town fund,
Right.
okay?
I'd like to make a motion to separate for separate discussion and vote, the Bill Zukowski Rogers Flood and McCardle invoice dated June 7th in the amount of $8,437.50.
Okay, and did you have a second or one of those, or is that? No, did you have any other ones, any other things you want to? Oh, okay,
I just need a second on that motion.
Oh, for a separate consideration?
Separate consideration vote.
Okay, second?
all right.
Now the reason why,
Hold on. Oh, you want to discuss it? Okay, discuss it. Huh?
Were you gonna vote to pull it off, was that, so I think you said vote.
That's what you
No.
want.
vote,
Oh, you want,
I motion, he seconded, and we vote.
You pull it off for separate consideration, that's all.
Okay.
do we have to roll call or can we do that one?
We can do a voice vote.
Yeah, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, we have no opposed, okay, that's
So then I'll make
motion,
a,
we'll take that one out.
okay, and then I'll make a motion to, audit the bill Zukowski Rogers Flood and McCardle dated June 7th in the amount of $8,437.50. Sorry, motion to approve.
Second.
All right, discussion on that.
The reason why I pulled this bill for separate consideration and vote is, because there were, I believe that the majority of it should be paid except for the last two line items dated 5/30/2019 and 5/31/2019 for 2.25 hours and 4 hours respectively for $250 an hour, totaling $1,562.50. And the reason being, I would like that removed because it appears that the descriptions of those line items appear to be work performed for the benefit of an individual as opposed to the township. And that would be a total of 6.25 hours at $250 an hour, and that's $1,562 removed from the total bill, which would leave the remaining total bill amount at $6,875.
Okay.
No sense?
I don't think there was sense.
Sorry, nope, even.
There was no sense.
Okay. You need to vote?
Well, first of all, I think we have to vote on the final sum, I believe.
I don't think you've got a motion, right?
What did I say? We'll have to have a motion on the final sum rather.
You have a motion right now to approve the bill, accept that amount.
Yes,
Right.
Okay.
That's seconded, right?
it is.
Okay.
So if we're voting yes, we're voting to approve it in the amended amount of $6,875, correct?
All right, then we'll have a roll call vote. Probably was running.
Can we discussion or,
Well,
We did.
yeah,
okay,
I think I did. I'm losing a little track here. Okay, we'll have a roll call vote on that, please.
Chapman,
Yes.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Shay.
Yes. All right, now we need an adjusted figure for the town fund.
Should be just $1,562.50 off.
Was this copy just for me or is that?
I'll put it back in the sink. Do you want me to adjust on here on the original or no?
No, just leave it sideways.
And then we need to make a new motion to approve the amended amount?
Oh, no, we have to restate, right? Restate the motion, with this, adjustment to it, it is now $91,684.67.
So moved.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Chapman,
Yes.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Shay.
Yes.
Where do I sign this one? Over there. No, I don't, but it's be for the appointment of the, leave it for the appointment.
Okay. All right, the next item is the general assistance. Okay. Dave,
Oh, thank you.
all right, the general assistance, I'd like a motion for the expenditure report for general assistance fund. An expenditure of $8,283 and no cents.
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion on that.
I just have a question, I guess since our general assistance expert is here, what, for example, would be a payment to the Village of Cary? What might that be for? Is that like a utility?
Yeah.
Okay, Thank you.
Any other discussion? No discussion, roll call vote, please.
Chapman.
Yes.
Lawrence.
yes.
Shay.
Yes. The motion to approve the general assistance fund's expenditure report has passed with a unanimous roll call vote. The next item will be the road and bridge fund. This is the expenditure report for road and bridge of $192,335.59. Do I have a motion?
No, I'd like to make a motion to remove from the stack the Compass Minerals bill totaling $107,095.43. Should have it by heart by now.
107, what was it?
$107,095.43.
43 cents, that's the important part. All
And a
right.
second?
Second. That motion has got a second. All right, now, do you want to discuss that?
No.
No.
I think we all know that we can't approve a bill. That's literally the statutory purpose of this Board of Auditors is to audit and not approve bills which are unlawful, among other things. And again, month after month, it's submitted, and again, month after month, it is still unlawful, so.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All right, that motion passes. Now, do we have a new total, please? And then we'll make our motion for the road and bridge fund adjusted. Just for interest's sake, did the general assistance one come through here yet?
You have it.
Okay. All right, I got it. I got one here. We'll take care of it. All right, the new restated dollar value of the road and bridge fund is $85,240.16.
So moved.
And seconded?
All right, now that's open for discussion also. Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Chapman.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes.
Shay.
Yes. All right, the expenditure report for the road and bridge fund as adjusted has passed by unanimous roll call vote. Now, I gotta find that other one.
I have one if you don't see it.
Indeed.
I've got a general assistance here, maybe I got more than one.
Nope.
I'll be right with you. That's all right, this is as good as any. There's two. Okay. All right, the next item is, excuse me. The next item is the equipment and building expenditure report for $25,812.49. Was there any adjustments on that?
No,
So moved.
second.
Give a second, okay. Now, discussion. No discussion. Please take a roll call vote on that.
Chapman,
Yes.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Shay.
Yes. Pam, I can start one right here. All right, that motion has passed by unanimous roll call vote. Moving to the next item. The next item is public comments. Speakers are welcome to address the board for 3 minutes. I mentioned it before, there is no transferring of minutes to others. And please abide by this rule, but I'm kind of keeping track. How many people would like to speak? Yes, sir. All you have to, please give your name. That's all we care about.
Okay, my name is Joe Golder, I live in Algonquin Township.
Yes, sir.
I actually enjoy coming here, I'm learning a lot. I didn't know much when I started coming here, but over the last 6 months or 8 months, I've learned a lot. So I got a couple comments I'd like to make about that salt bill. At one time, there was talking about they would send the salt back, but I guess that did not materialize. Did we try and work something out with this guy? Did you get this matter resolved? It's gonna haunt us. We need to try and settle this thing somehow. I don't know if you gotta put it back up for competitive bid and pay them what that prevailing rate would be, but, you know, I think just passing that bill back and forth isn't doing anybody any good.
I'd be glad to fill you in on everything as soon as the meeting's over.
No problem. I'll take you up on that. And then the next question I had is about the budget. The meeting prior to this, you passed the budget, and one of the line items that you guys spoke briefly about was $250,000 for the legal fees, or for the the legal fees. And as you mentioned, and I agree with you, I was wondering the same thing. There is a lot of bills out there we didn't get. So when these bills come out from last year's budget, where does that money come from? Is the old budget out of money? So what happens then? Is that another trick that he pulled on us? So the bill comes now, but it comes out of this budget, and is this something that's gonna come to bite us? That the bills come in late? Because most attorneys, their bill's right there. I mean, you'd swear the guy delivered your door personally because he got it the next day. So that's a concern of mine, that we don't get these bills. And then the last concern I have about that is, once this $250,000 is gobbled up, which it will be in a relatively short period of time, does he come before the board and ask for more money? And what stops him from doing that? Is it gonna be an open checkbook? So those are my concerns.
Just for interest, if you have those written down, Dave will try and answer that for you after the meeting. along with
Okay,
the other questions.
we'll talk after the meeting. I appreciate that.
During the public, we don't generally get into a back and forth debate.
Right, that's why I was
It's
just.
not easy not to, but
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else? Nick?
Good evening, everyone. Nick Chirikas, Algonquin Township resident. I'm going to speak extemporaneously tonight. I don't have anything prepared. I'd like to start out by offering some encouragement to the board and appreciation for all the work that you do and have done over the past couple of years. I know it's been rough for you. You've had your share of challenges in this position, and Ms. Lukasek as well. And I want you to know that there are people like myself, citizens of the township, that really appreciate what you do. And encourage you to keep up the good work. Moving on, I looked last night at what appeared to be a really raucous meeting at the McHenry Township. And we watched the YouTube live stream from our home because I wasn't able to make the meeting. But I was truly astounded at the number of people that came forth in support of the bus program at McHenry Township. It lasted an hour and 20 minutes, nothing but comments in favor of and in support of this service, which is literally essential to many people for their livelihood, for their medication, for their education, and for their work. And I was astounded when the board callously refused to acknowledge any of those needs and voted it down. And I think everyone else was astounded as well. Having said that, we have a bus service in Algonquin Township, and I would like to see it protected. I did a little research and I found out that in McHenry Township, they have a process of grievance where if the bus service, which is now going to end at the end of November, but they have instituted, and by the way, it's controlled by the township board, as I understand it, not the road district. If someone is asked to leave for one reason or another, or banned from the service, there's a process by which they can address their concerns and possibly be reinstated to the service. We have such a person here in Algonquin Township, an elderly lady that lives in Algonquin by the name of Mary DeFranzo. And it came to my attention that Ms. DeFranzo was summarily banned from the use of this service of Algonquin Township bus for life because of one minor altercation with a bus driver, where she had to go back into Walmart for, something to pay something or get an extra item. She was on her shopping list, and the bus driver had to wait for her, put him behind a few minutes. They had an argument, they had some words. They, as I understand it, made up, but it got back to the road commissioner, Mr. Gasser, who then summarily removed her privileges from using the bus service forever. I found that to be extremely disturbing, and if I'm running over, let me know, please. But I would like to find some way to have her reinstated.
You're running along.
Okay. Thank you for your time, and appreciate your attention.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
All right, do we have anybody else? John, did you want anything?
John Leonardi. I'd just like to,
Did I shame you?
no, it's pretty hard to do that. I'd just like to mention that the cemetery that's on Algonquin Road, the old one in Foxwood Road, needs a little cleaning. There's a brush pile beginning to form there that's quite large in two areas, so it needs to be taken care of.
Right away.
Thank you for your time. We'll. All right, well, last call. Yes, sir.
Yes, Robert Becker. Last month you brought up that we purchased 2 Peterbilt trucks. And I think Mr. Chapman brought up that he did not know what happened to the old trucks. Did anybody find anything out about that?
I'd be glad to tell you what we found out.
This time bring it up this afterwards.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Like I said.
Thank you.
All right, last call. All right, we'll move on. The new business proclamation declaring June 21st to 28th Algonquin Township Bicycle Week. I don't know where that came from.
Why, I'll start reading, Dan.
Go ahead.
All right. The proclamation, ooh, hey, get back there. Declaring June 21st to the 28th as Algonquin Township Bicycle Week. Whereas the bicycle is an environmentally sound, economical, and effective means of personal transportation, recreation, and exercise, and whereas use of the bicycle for the personal transportation benefits residents of the Township of Algonquin by reducing traffic, reducing carbon emissions, improving air quality, and decreasing dependence on finite fossil fuel energy resources. And whereas use of the bicycle for recreation encourages families and friends to spend time together outdoors, enjoying parks, McHenry County Conservation District properties, trails, and quiet residential neighborhoods. And whereas use of the bicycle for exercise provides adults and children can have positive health benefits, including decreasing body fat levels, increasing cardiovascular fitness, increasing muscle strength, and decreasing stress levels. And whereas visit McHenry County, the McHenry County Division of Transportation and partner organizations and communities are launching the Bike MC Bicycle Sharing Program in June 2019. And whereas Algonquin Township endeavors to promote safe and responsible bicycling, and whereas there is a need for all motor vehicle drivers and bicyclists to be better educated regarding traffic laws and bicycle safety. Now therefore be it proclaimed by this Algonquin Township Board of Illinois that the week of June 21st to June 28th, 2019 is hereby designated Algonquin Township Bicycle Week, and all residents are encouraged to enjoy riding bicycles in a safe and responsible manner. Be it further proclaimed that all motor vehicle drivers and bicyclists are encouraged to participate in the Illinois Bicycle Safety Quiz Challenge, available at www.bikesafetyquiz.com. Be it further proclaimed that the township clerk is hereby authorized to spread a copy of this proclamation upon the records of the Algonquin Township, dated at the Township of Algonquin, Illinois, this 19th day of June, AD 2019.
All right. You make a motion, we approve it. Is that right?
I make a motion that we adopt the proclamation of Algonquin Township Bicycle Week.
I'll second it. All right, discussion? Oh,
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Is this gonna cost us anything?
Bicycle Week? No.
All right, and the other bicycle program. And how long with the bicycle program is it gonna be before the state starts taxing it? Do you have any estimates?
I'll do the Johnny Carson, Great Cardini or whatever that was.
That was a rhetorical
Yeah,
question.
I know. Any day now.
Okay. All right, anything further? All right, that proclamation can be approved by a voice vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. All right, the proclamation has passed by unanimous voice vote. The next item is a discussion and action regarding proposed Algonquin Township Road District ballot.
Actually, this was,
Ballot initiative / referendum. This was actually my fault.
You want
It
to
was,
withdraw?
I was asked whether I would like it on the agenda for this month, and I didn't reply in time, and so it was my fault, and so that actually shouldn't be an agenda item, so I'd like to remove that
All right, you make a motion to withdraw,
for this month, yes.
and I will second. All right, then discussion, motion, do you even need a motion to withdraw? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, the second item on the list of discussion and action program is withdrawn. The next item, the discussion action regarding a temporary vacancy. I won't have to tell you, but I gotta read this out.
okay.
Got that, all right.
There's no attachments.
Pardon? Oh, okay. All right, then, let's see, discussion. We have to have a little something to begin the discussion. Who's prepared to do the discussion on it? Jim, are you part of that? No. Where is it?
Board discussion.
I was just told to put it on there.
Okay,
I think the discussion was, I think the next two items run together. And,
all right,
I think it deals with the supervisor's position.
all right, then we'll move that, we'll automatically move then down to discussion action regarding appointment of a temporary deputy supervisor. All right, this is discussion first.
I think we have received correspondence from, and this is, I think the board has seen all this,
Use your microphone.
from they received correspondence that the supervisor will not be available for the next couple of months. And therefore, the board needs to determine that he's temporarily unavailable, and they need to appoint a deputy supervisor. As I think we talked about previously, the deputy supervisor only has ministerial duties. They can essentially sign things. For example, the board would have to approve bills, but the deputy supervisor only has the authority to sign them. He would, if you pass a proclamation, for example, he doesn't take action on it, he or she doesn't take action, the temporary deputy signs the document based upon the board's approval. And, I think this is critical with regard to checks. We're at a point where now checks need to be signed by someone. Mr. Lutzo is not available. That's why we need to determine he's not available and appoint this deputy supervisor to execute the checks after they're approved. The bills are approved by the board. So a whole variety of township bills can be paid. Once again, that person the deputy has absolutely no authority to determine to pay or not pay a bill, delay payment on a bill. It's solely the power of this board.
And they don't chair the meetings
They
either.
don't chair meetings or not.
So it's strictly a clerical item, right?
It's ministerial, yes.
Ministerial, okay.
Based upon the information derived from the health situation with our supervisor, I would declare that his office is temporarily vacant. And I propose a deputy supervisor be appointed. And based on the discussions that we have had singly and then conjointly, I propose the name of Darlene Lutzo as the deputy supervisor for the remaining time that Chuck will be out. I propose that the board set the compensation of this deputy at $0.00.
Is that a motion?
It is a motion, yes.
Oh, okay, we can do that, but I was gonna give Rachel a chance to speak.
We'll do that in discussion after the motion is seconded.
All right, you made the motion, I'll second it. All right, go, you have something that you want to.
I do. I have a lot of concerns about this. I understand that Mrs. Lutzel has been an integral part of assisting Supervisor Lutzel and previously Clerk Lutzel in many of the ministerial functions of both Mr. Lutzel's previous positions. And however, I just have a lot of concerns. First of all, there's the issue of hiring. I know that you're motioning that the compensation be set to $0, and apparently you've indicated to me that she would be willing to accept that for $0. But there's still the issue of I'm just concerned about someone being appointed to this position with literally access to all the township and road district bank accounts, access to the entire building. I just think, I have 14 different people who filled out applications, sent resumes, come to meetings, have really provided information to qualify themselves and apply for just a trustee position. And I don't know anything about Mrs. Litso. I don't know enough to even dislike her. I think I've met her a few times. I think she's a nice lady, but I have some serious concerns about not only appointing the wife of the person who is filling that role, but I also have concerns because all that we know, based on my conversations with each one of our attorney, Mr. Chapman, Trustee Chapman and Trustee Shea, all that we know about Supervisor Litso's position has come from Mrs. Litso and only Mrs. Litso. So I just have concerns about that. I don't know anything about her. I do know that she does qualify under the statute as being a Republican, that she can be bonded, that she's not a convicted felon. I mean, all the basic criteria, but I just feel like there should be more careful consideration put into this, and that's really all that I have to say.
Okay. Well, I've known Darlene Litso for a significant number of years. I'm not sure that it has to be for this deputy superintendent a political requirement. If you were replacing the person, you would have to have, I believe. But if you're just putting a deputy in, I'm not sure that politics or political thing comes into it. But that's neither here nor there. But I've known Darlene Litso to be extremely competent. She had worked during the Chuck's time in the clerk's office. And overall, if there was going to be any kind of criticism, it would be that she's probably overqualified. So personally, I fully support this.
I fully support Darlene. I think this is a logical transition, especially as we're meeting the criteria. Even the county ordinance, which I know Rachel is talking about, allows someone like Darlene to be appointed to that position if she's the best person for that job. And she is, and I move that we.
You've already made the motion.
Okay. All right, anything further?
Well, he was speaking.
Go ahead, Dan, call the roll.
Well,
All right.
You were saying something, weren't you?
I was asking that the question be voted upon.
I would just say that before we do that, you stated that Mrs. Litso would be the best, I believe you said.
Yes, I did, absolutely.
I have no reason to believe that she isn't. However, I have no reason to believe that she is because no one else has been given an opportunity to so much as apply. So that's why I'll be voting no.
When I asked you to meet her, you said no.
No, I did not.
Okay,
In fact, you suggested that she come to the meeting, or that you were going to invite her to the meeting.
which I did.
And and literally verbatim what I told you is that on principle, I cannot vote for somebody who just based upon meeting them with no competitive, no application process, they're literally knowing nothing about them except meeting someone. I can't do that. That's why we have all these trustee applications with questionnaires and resumes. I want to make it very clear, especially to Mrs. Litso, if, that I have nothing against this person personally. And if there were anybody else who were in the same situation by any other name, I would be saying the same thing. And, if she is appointed, which it seems like you've made up your minds that she will be, I look forward to working with her. But I, myself, I have a vote, and my vote will be no.
Now, finally, on my point, this would be a big advantage for a transfer when Chuck comes back, because he can be kept informed somewhat along the way if it's allowed.
Surely.
And what better person to transfer it? So there's no more discussion, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Chapman,
Yes,
Lawrence,
No,
Shay,
Yes. All right, the action to appoint Darlene Lutzow as a temporary, I'm not sure temporary even matters, but do it.
temporary deputy.
Deputy supervisor has passed, with a roll call vote 2-1.
the appropriate bond and application letters will be performed tomorrow.
And the terms were stated in the motion. All right, we don't have an executive session.
You can do that later.
We don't have executive minutes. We will someday though.
That's,
All right, is there any other business? Did you have something else you want to bring up?
we discussed that, Jim.
we don't need to discuss it now.
No, you and I need to discuss.
Oh, okay.
David, did you have anything
No.
else?
Nope.
All right,
Oh, I would,
What about the
I'll,
temporary
I-
vacancy?
Huh?
The temporary vacancy.
they've just addressed that. They've appointed,
Oh, no, the trustee?
Trustee.
yes, so I'll give an update. I mean, we're not taking action, but I can discuss anything, because this is a regular scheduled meeting. We have received, like I said, 14, applicants.
that's a lot. I'm surprised.
I'm pleasantly surprised as well, especially with, many of them. So the plan is, originally Chuck and I were the, committee to, screen these for the basic requirements and then, bring forth, what we believe, do our, investigating, reading, contacting references, et cetera, and bring forth what we believe to be the top few candidates to the board for consideration. But seeing how Chuck is indisposed at the moment, I've already done the basic requirements screening. And so I plan on meeting individually with Trustee Shay and then individually with Dave Chapman to explain the process, what I've done so far, which people are disqualified and why, which people I recommend and why, which people I've talked to so far, or their references, and share that information individually with each of them. And then I expect, this is the plan, I expect that between now and the next regularly scheduled July meeting, we will have determined top three candidates to invite to the next regularly scheduled board meeting for individual interviews, which would take place in executive session. And if we don't come to a vote and a conclusion at that meeting, of course, we would have to take the official vote in open session after the interviews. Then we would have until July 29th to schedule a special meeting to appoint that person. So that's the status of that. The other things that I just wanted to address that someone had asked was about the bills from the road district. And how, I believe you asked if we would get into a pickle because those bills were actually accrued prior to this fiscal year. The way that it's done, the way that we do it is when the bills are submitted, they go and they are submitted for the fiscal year during which they are submitted. So if they're not submitted yet, they wouldn't come out of this fiscal year. So that's why I think that the road district has not submitted those bills because they were actually over or at or exceeded their budget for last fiscal year. So that's why we stopped seeing bills. So that's why, like I mentioned during the road and bridge hearing, that I anticipate several months worth of bills to come right off at the top of his budget for fiscal year 19 and 20. The other issue you asked specifically about the salt issues and why hasn't it been returned. I actually did say last year, right after, I don't know if it was October or November, I did suggest to the highway commissioner, not that I have any authority to make, not that any of us have any authority to make the highway commissioner or road district do anything. I did suggest that that would be an adequate solution to the issue, is just to eat the cost of returning the salt and doing it over the proper way. For whatever reason, that was not done, and now we have what we have.
If you'd like me to finish that thought,
Yeah.
the reason that it wasn't done is that legally it cannot be done.
Right.
You cannot go backwards in time to correct an error.
An invalid contract.
Right, so when the bid was failed, it's on the supplier's back that motion, or that bill was not paid. They knew or should have known that there needed to be a contract, and there was not.
Competitive bidding process.
Right. Right, yes.
And then, just for Mr. Lenardi, you had mentioned about the cemetery in Fox River Grove. That actually, cemetery maintenance, I believe that the road district does handle that, but I will forward that to the highway commissioner for you.
All right, the reason I
And we
made,
will also look, sorry.
you got another one?
We will also look into the, banning of that individual from the senior bus and what we can do about that.
The reason I made a statement about your 12 submissions here is because 14 is usually you don't have that many people volunteering for the position of guillotine tester. Just. All right, we're to the point. We need a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned at 7:46.
I guess I didn't have to answer.